Hey guys, Ryno Bones here with a quick unboxing and review thing. Today I've got a little bit of a Q&A. First off, the question, what can you do with a $45 document camera from Amazon? And the answer is, well, I don't know yet. I haven't even unboxed it, but we're going to find out together. Today I've got the ThuStand XZC-200 USB document camera. It is a 8 megapixel document camera, and for some reason, some way, somehow, they have got the price down on this to $45. Let's see what corners they cut, and let's see what this thing does great. One corner they definitely cut seems to be the packaging. Well, we've got our USB cable here. It is attached to the actual camera, and this thing is light as can be. Looks pretty good. Says HD camera on the front of it, and yeah, it's got a little mounting place here, and a little mounting place here. Here we've got an adjustment knob and one of those little Velcro doodads to keep the cable in place. User instruction manual. An adjustable arm. And I actually kind of like this. Obviously I like this. That's what my microphone here is on. That's what my camera above is on. So yeah, I'm used to these, and this one actually feels pretty solid. Adjustment knob here, and yeah, it's going to work pretty well. Last thing out of the box is this base, and my goodness, this is a stout piece of metal. So far, I'm pretty impressed with that. Let's get this little guy mounted up, see what software we need to install, and let's see how far $45 for a document camera can go. Obviously, setup was pretty simple. It did require a little bit more manual labor than more expensive document cameras do. Basically, I had to attach the camera here, and I had to attach the arm to the base. You'll notice this is sideways on my desk. That's a pretty unusual choice for a document camera, I must say. Obviously, in a real-world situation, I have already found one issue with having it set up on the left-hand side. This actually needs to go on the right-hand side. That way you can actually open a book. But other than that little bitty flaw, which can easily be remedied by just moving this to the other side over here, it's not that big of a deal. Camera does go up pretty high. You can see in the video that, yeah, you've got the whole page going on, and it looks pretty decent. This is about 16 inches up off of the desk. You can also push it in a little bit more. It has manual focus here on this ring, and that seems to work pretty good. I actually prefer manual focus. Let's test out the audio. The audio you're hearing right now is coming from this little camera right here. It shows up in Windows 10 as StreamCam. Another cost-saving measure with this device is there is no software that comes with it. So you're either going to have to use OBS, or you're going to have to use Google Meet or Zoom or any of those other apps that have access to a camera, and then it would actually work pretty well. Right now, the video you're seeing from my camera here is running through OBS, and honestly, that's not a big deal to me because that's what I would use if I was in a classroom streaming anyways. Now, if you need all of the extra bells and whistles and all the tools and the drawing things and picture-in-picture, you're probably not going to be able to do that with this without some sort of tinkering around and finding maybe some other document camera software that would work for it. But as it is, you can use OBS or you can use the built-in Windows 10 camera app. I believe there are camera apps on the Macintosh as well, so yeah, it should work as expected. However, it will basically just be a webcam, and I gotta say, that's exactly what this is. This is a webcam mounted on a small lamp-type arm. Problem? Not really. 45 bucks worth? I think it's worth it so far. So far. Let's get into the writing experience. For 45 bucks, this is a win. I mean, it definitely is just a webcam mounted on an arm, but it works. And if you have the know-how and you have the ability to go in and set up your camera settings and mess around in OBS, basically, if you know what you're doing, you can turn this into a very usable, very user-friendly document camera for a classroom. If you're not tech savvy, this would probably be one to avoid, but if you know what you're doing, you could use this pretty darn easily. Speaking of this being just a webcam mounted on an arm, let's see what that experience is like.
The audio and video you're getting right now is coming out of the XZC-200 document camera. This is what you could experience if you were using this document camera as a webcam. I did have to go into OBS and I had to adjust some settings. I had to knock down the exposure settings quite a bit because, wow, I was shockingly bright white. And I know I kind of am in real life too, but I don't think I'm that white. I did have to change some of the other settings too. I turned the brightness way down. I turned contrast way down. I had to do some gamma adjusting, and I even popped on a LUT on here just to get a little bit more user-friendly experience. And it did take about 2 or 3 minutes, but that's also because I already know what to do to make a camera look kind of its best. And really, I think this is the best that this can do in a webcam situation if you've got lots of weird lights going on, or if you've got really poor lighting like the weird LED light I've got up there. Now, I'm not sure if you're seeing any flickering going on, but I can see flickering on my screen, and that's because the LED bulbs are flashing at a slightly different rate than this camera is picking up. So on my screen, at least, I am seeing a little bit of a jitter here because their frequencies just aren't matching up quite right. Now I've switched over to a different app. This is the default Windows 10 camera app. So this is the video and audio you would be getting if you were just doing a plain old recording using that particular app. You can see I am shockingly white. I feel like Monty Burns after he's wandering through the forest after getting all of those shots. And yikes, it's pretty bright. I am very white.
So there you have it, the XZC-200 from Thustar. It is a $45 document camera from Amazon, and honestly, I do think it might be worth it. For the standalone, that's a pretty good deal because you can always swap this thing out for any other webcam you want to use, as long as it's got the mounting inputs there. It's pretty neat overall. It is light on features. As I showed, there was nothing to do in the software. There just was no software that comes with this. However, the mounting solution kind of makes up for that. If you know what you're doing in OBS, you can make up for that. So this is definitely not a beginner document camera. This would be for somebody who needs something really fast for maybe the students to use. This might be something for the teacher who knows what they're doing with technology and can already set everything up just the way they want it. This would be good for you. If you are starting out, you have no clue what's going on, spend a little bit more, get the Inswan INSW1, get the JoyUSing webcam that I reviewed last week, not webcam, document camera. They're pretty good. They're awesome for the price. They are under $100. This is half that price, and I think it shows. Is it worth it for me? Absolutely, because I think I can probably change out that camera and do something else with this stand. I can use this camera for other purposes. In fact, I've got one coming up that I'm actually going to be using it for anyways. So, 45 bucks, it's kind of a win.